Good morning, students. I think hope you're all fine. And in your last class, we have discussed about some of the basic things of your chemistry, right? That means we have discussed about what is the definition of your atoms, elements, molecules, compounds, and we discussed about to write a name of a compound also, and I told you to practice how to write the name of a compound and how to write the symbols of it. If the name is given, you have to know how to write the formula. If the formula is given, you have to know how to write the name of it. I told you to take out your 9th standard textbook and practice whatever it is being there, and I told you what are the valencies of your sulfate, nitrate, carbonate also you people have to practice. Why? Because the next topic which we are going to discuss will be very important. So based on that only we are going to continue further things. That means you know how to write the symbol of your compounds. Yes or no? Yeah. And basically in chemistry we are going to discuss about some of the chemical reactions and equation, whether the reaction has taken place physically or chemically, all the things which we have to study in your chemistry. So right now we are going to discuss about what is chemical reaction and equations. So the topic which we are going to discuss is here chemical reactions and equations. So right now we are going to discuss about what is chemical reaction and equation. So before getting inside the topic, I am going to tell you about two things. That is, what is your reactant, and what is nothing but called as your product. So in a chemical reaction, if anything getting reaction, the name itself will tell you children, chemical reaction. Reaction is nothing but something which is going to react. That means if someone is asking you some question, or the question is something like weird, or it is like you don't want to answer such question, in the sense we give some expression, facial expression which has been given. That is what is nothing but called as reaction. Whatever they are asking you, according to that you are going to react all the expressions which you are going to show in your face, or whatever the question they are asking you, you're going to reply for that. So that gives, there is a reaction which has been taken place between you people. So that is what is nothing but called as reaction. But if it takes place chemically, if the reaction takes place chemically, is said to be as your chemical reaction. To be more detailedly, how does a chemical reaction takes place, in the sense when two or more reactant reacting together to give you a product. The two or more reactant reacting together to give you a product is nothing but called as chemical reaction. That means when two substances is taken and it is being reacted, whether on heating or whether on cooling, or when something is added, for both the things there is some substance is newly formed, that is nothing but called as chemical reaction. For example, if you take, we have already studied in your physical change and chemical change. That means when you take up the paper is one of the reactant. Now I am going to fire this with the presence of oxygen, it is going to burn. I'm going to burn that paper, whatever it is going to react. That means the paper which is reacting with this fire, the newly formed substance will be the ash. Finally, what I'm going to obtain is an ash powder, right? So that ash is nothing but called as new substance which is formed. So that is what which has been nothing but called as your chemical reaction. When two or more substance, I'm going to define that. Let me tell you. When two or more substance reacts to give a new substance called as your chemical reaction. Now two or more substances has been reacted to give you some new substance which has been formed is nothing but called as your chemical reaction. Now this two substances, what is being reacted, two or more substances, is nothing but called as your reactant, and the newly formed substance is nothing but called as your product. Two or more substances in a reaction, two or more substances, what I'm going to react. That means, for example, if I take A plus B, what is being reacted is nothing but called as your reactant. And after reaction, what the new product which is going to be formed is nothing but called as my product. So when two or more substances is being reacted together to give you a new substance is nothing but called as chemical reaction. In one more word, if I want to define what is chemical reaction is, when two or more reacting together to give you a new product is nothing but called as chemical reaction. Two ways I can define you children. Chemical reaction is nothing but when two or more substance is reacted together to give you a new substance, and that two or more substance I am going to define in a chemical term called reactant, and new substance which is formed to be chemically called as your product. So that is what is nothing but called as chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, that means when two or more substance, that means reactant is reacting to give you a product. So here the same thing which I wrote an example. Now, what is a reactant is nothing but called as when the substance which take part in a chemical reaction, this is a chemical reaction which has been taken place, the substance which is going to take part in a chemical reaction is nothing but called as a reactant. After the reaction, whatever the substance which is newly formed is nothing but called as product. Reactant is nothing but the substance which take part in a chemical reaction. Product, after the reaction, whatever the new substance which is formed is nothing but called as your product. So whenever you are writing a chemical reaction, you have whenever you are writing a chemical reaction, you have something which has been reacted together. So when two or more substances or one substance only on heating, whatever the newly formed substance is considered to be as your product, and this is how the chemical reaction has been taken place. For example, here in your textbook, that means in your textbook, they have given that take a magnesium ribbon. How will your magnesium ribbon be? In the sense, it will be just like a strip. For example, you have seen that nar, right? Soap, now for washing vessels, they use that nar. Like that, where exactly it will be present. Take that magnesium ribbon, burn that with the presence of oxygen. Take a magnesium ribbon, burn that with the presence of oxygen. With the presence of oxygen, it has been burned. The product means it is going to fire with a dazzling flame, white color dazzling flame, which is going to burn with dazzling flame, and a white color powder which has been obtained is nothing but called as magnesium oxide. The white color powder what I am going to obtain at the end is nothing but called as magnesium oxide. Before using the magnesium for the experiment, it should be cleaned with sandpaper. Why this magnesium should be cleaned with sandpaper? In the sense, see, magnesium will have a carbonate layer. To remove this carbonate layer, magnesium will have a carbonate layer. To remove this carbonate layer, first the magnesium should be cleaned with sandpaper. You know sandpaper, right? Sandpaper which is used for smoothing the surface, where the rough surface is there. To smooth that, they use that sandpaper for wood or for walls and all. To smooth the surface, they use that sandpaper, children. By using that sandpaper, your magnesium ribbon, whatever it has been there, will be first cleaned to remove this carbonate layer out of it, and then used for your experiment. So this is a chemical reaction. So here what is a reactant? Here in this experiment, which is called as reactant and which is called as product, children. So this two, magnesium and oxygen, is considered to be as your reactant, and MgO is nothing but called as your product. So this is what a chemical reaction. Okay, generally if I want to tell, ma'am, chemically, this is an experiment which is there in your textbook, as I told you. Generally if I want to tell, see, if you are going to prepare some delicious dish, something which is going to be very delicious, you are going to prepare some, whether it is a curd rice or whether it is, you are going to do some sweet items or something like that, where you are going to prepare. During at that point of time, whatever the ingredients you take to prepare, that ingredients is considered to be as your reactant. After all this has been combined, newly formed substance, whether if you want to make a curd rice, see what all the required items you take for curd rice, in the sense you require curd and you require rice and a salt, and if you want it should be pomegranate or grapes or badam, whatever you want to add up, you will add up all the things. and then completely mix it. Okay, so all that whatever I'm going to take it is nothing but ingredients, whatever I require to that substance is nothing but called as my reactant. And after the preparation, whatever I'm going to mix all that things, and a newly formed substance which is being formed is nothing but called as my product. So that is what is nothing but called as chemical reaction. If it takes place chemically, the reaction, if it takes place chemically, is nothing but called as chemical reaction. So this is how you define a chemical reaction. That means don't give an example of a curd rice. Our ma'am told how to prepare a curd rice. So that is what is an example for your chemical reaction. Don't do that, children. Definition for your chemical reaction is when two or more reactions reacting together to give you a product is nothing but called as chemical reaction. What does reactant mean? The substance which take part in a chemical reaction is called as reactant. After reacting, the newly formed substance is called as your product. Is it clear? Now, in your textbook, the example which has been given, if you have textbook, you can go through that textbook and it will be so clear. Now, right now, if you have, now we have textbook in the sense, sit with your textbook and your rough note, that is okay. If not in the sense, take old textbook, borrow it from your seniors and go through the textbook. Then you can collect your own textbooks and go through that, okay? So whatever the experiment which is given, so if it is reduced syllabus, this topic will not be there for your exams. If not, you have complete topics in the sense you people have to go through this also. Why this topic in the sense I can take this topic to be a bridge course topic also. Why? Because this you have already studied in your class 8 standard children. So only, okay. So this equation will tell you, that means the example for your chemical reaction is when magnesium is burned with the presence of oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. But you, before using this magnesium, it should be rubbed with sandpaper, cleaned with your sandpaper. Why? Because to remove the layer of carbonate from your magnesium oxide, then it is used for your experiment, right? Then now, whatever the chemical reaction, now see, when you, when something like when two or more substances is reacted to give you product in the sense, if I tell that in a word, writing the same thing in a word equation, writing the same thing in a word form is nothing but called as chemical reaction. That means when magnesium ribbon, as I told you, when magnesium is being burned with the presence of oxygen to produce magnesium oxide, there is a chemical reaction which is being taken place. For example, now if you take hydrogen is reacted with chlorine to give hydrogen chloride. So this is nothing but which I am going to represent. This is nothing but called as my chemical reaction. Okay, now I'm going to represent this. I'm going to represent this chemical reaction in simplest and symbolic way. That means when hydrogen is reacting with chlorine to give hydrogen chloride, I'm going to represent whatever the chemical reaction in simplest and easiest and symbolic way. In symbolic way, I have represented hydrogen. In symbolic way, I have represented chlorine. In symbolic way, I have represented hydrogen chloride. So this is nothing but called as chemical equation. Representing a chemical reaction. Representing a chemical reaction in simplest and easiest and symbolic way. Representing a chemical reaction in simplest and easiest way and in symbolic way is nothing but called as chemical equation. For example, this one, okay, and I gave you the previous example when magnesium is burned with the presence of oxygen. No, how will you write? When magnesium is burned with the presence of oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. This is a chemical reaction or equation. Representing the same in a symbolic way and easiest way is nothing but called as chemical equation. Is it clear, children? Yes, chemical reaction. See here, while writing chemical equation, when two or more reactant is there, it should be represented with positive sign, plus sign, and an arrow mark indication should be given towards your product. An arrow mark indication should be given towards your product. I may not tell that a product will be only one. More than 2 product, if it has been there also, you have to represent plus whatever it has been there, plus whatever it has been there. Don't represent minus or multiplication sign or the division sign. So whenever you are writing a chemical equations, plus sign should be there and an arrow mark indication should be represented towards your product. So this is how you write a chemical equation. Got it? So here we have discussed about what is chemical reaction, what is chemical equation. Is it clear, children? Chemical reaction is nothing but when two or more reactants reacting together to give you a product. And what is chemical equation? Representing the same chemical reactant and the product in the simplest and easiest way or in symbolic way is nothing but called as chemical equation. Representing any sort of chemical equations will tell you. Now hydrogen is reacted with oxygen. Hydrogen is reacted with water to obtain water, H2O. Hydrogen is reacted with oxygen to produce water molecule is formed. So this is nothing but called as your chemical equation. Am I right? Representing your chemical reaction only in the simplest way is nothing but called as your chemical equation. So while writing a chemical equation, positive sign and an arrow mark indication should be there. Where does the arrow mark indication should be headed in the sense? Arrow mark indication, the head will be towards your product side. Whatever the newly formed substance will be there, that will be your product. Okay. Now the next thing is, and we have a chemical equation. Many chemical equations are there. I'll just give you few and few more I'll be giving you for your assignment. Just write it in practice how to write the chemical equation by yourself. Okay, I'll write 2 more or 3 more for you. I already wrote 3 equations for you. I may write still 3 more. That means when hydrogen gases, first one, hydrogen gas combine with nitrogen to form ammonia. Okay, and second one, hydrogen sulfide gas burns in air to give water and sulfur dioxide. Now let me write these 2 equations for you, and then you people, I will be giving you some more questions of chemical equations and you people have to know how to write it. Why I told you to practice the compound symbols is for this purpose only, children. You people have to know the compound symbols and symbols of the elements, then it will be easy for you to write the chemical equation. If you don't know to write the symbols of the elements or the compounds, you can't able to write the equation. It's very difficult for you. Now see sodium, Na. Sodium, Na. Okay, ma'am, sodium, Na. Why it can't be S? This and all you have studied in class 9, children, because sodium, its Latin name, natrium, so it starts with Na. Some names of that will start repeating from their starting letter itself. And for some it won't, it starts from their Latin name. So you people have to know that the symbols of that elements or symbols of that components, then it will be easy for you to write the chemical equations. If you don't know to write that, definitely you will not be able to write the equations of the given reactions. Now if you take hydrogen gas, we know hydrogen is H2, hydrogen is combining with nitrogen, N3 to form ammonia. Nitrogen and it is H2, hydrogen is combining with nitrogen to form ammonia, in the sense ammonia is NH3. Ammonium is NH3, ammonia is NH4, children. Sorry, ammonia is NH4, ammonium is NH3. This is how the equation, but the equation is not balanced and I did not taught you regarding that. Okay, this is how the equation you will write. The next one is hydrogen sulfide gas burns in air to give water and sulfur dioxide. Hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen, HS, hydrogen sulfide is burned with the presence of air. With the presence of air is oxygen. In air, that is oxygen, to give you water. Water is H2O and sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is SO2. Is it clear how to write the chemical equation? So whatever they have given, representing the same in the symbolic way is nothing but called as your equation, children. They may give you an reaction. See, hydrogen gas burns with nitrogen to form ammonia. This is a chemical reaction. Representing the same chemical reaction in simplest way, symbolic way, is nothing but called as your chemical equations. Is it clear? Now, let me give you a few more questions. Please note down that questions, and I wanted that to be written. That means I'll tell you when the assignment should be written. That time you can follow that, okay? Or else you people have to practice this, children. Not only now, even in your future, it will be helpful. Now, that means which you have to practice at home. Barium chloride reacts with aluminium sulfate to give aluminium chloride and a precipitant, PPT, precipitant of barium sulfate. I'll tell you regarding PPT in your next sections. That means if you continue the chapter, you will know what is PPT. Okay, now you don't need to worry about it. Next, potassium metal reacts with water to give potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Next, third one, calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide to give calcium carbonate plus water at the end. Copy it. So if you could able to write these equations, it will be easy for you, children. If not, it is difficult. You can write any example. So there are different types of reactions. There are different types of chemical reaction which is being taken place. In this, any example you can write if you know to write the symbol of it. You don't need to write the specific one, ma'am. Should be write the same thing. Not like that. Okay, so you people have to know. Finish. Next questions. Zinc plus silver nitrate gives zinc nitrate plus silver. Fifth one, aluminium plus copper chloride gives aluminium chloride plus copper. Then barium chloride plus potassium sulfate gives barium sulfate plus potassium chloride. Next, zinc carbonate zinc carbonate gives zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide. Hydrogen plus chlorine gives hydrogen chloride. So practice this equation, how to write these equations, okay? Then you will be able to write the equations properly. Practice these equations. If not, if you have any doubts, children, see the videos or else go through your 9th standard textbook. You can have the component's name, right? So there it will be easy for you to write the component name and directly write the equations. It will be easy for you. So only I told you to, in your last class, I told you to practice the compound names, right? So any doubts, children, you will get your classworks or your homeworks for your submission, no? On that day, I will clarify all your doubts, children. Any doubts to write the equation also, you can get it back to me. When you have your corrections or the homework corrections, will tell you which day you have to come. On that day, you can come and ask whatever the doubts is there, you can clarify, children. It's not like you don't need to ask doubts at that point of time, you can ask. I'll clarify, okay? Yes. So now it is, what does the chemical reaction involves? A chemical reaction involves, what does a chemical reaction involves? Chemical reaction involves change in state, then change in color, then change in temperature, then evolution of gas. So what does it mean? What does the chemical reaction involves in the sense? What are you coming to tell, ma'am? See, if any chemical reaction has been taken place in the sense, there should be some changes in the product. See, something whatever we took that in solid state, it has converted into liquid state. Some substances which has been taken in liquid state, later on after the reaction it gets converted into liquid state. It is changing their state. Changing state in the sense it is not like changing different states, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, not like that. It means state in the sense change in their states of matter. Whether it is solid, it gets converted into liquid states get converted into solid states will get converted into gases. That is what is change. Means if a chemical reaction has been taken place in the sense, if a chemical reaction involves, if there is any chemical change in a reaction has been taken place in the sense, maybe it can be change in state, or change in color, or change in temperature, or evolution of gas. Not all the four should be taken place in one chemical reaction only. Any 2 or 3 can be taken place. Any one which has not been taken place, it can happen. Now, for example, I gave you when a paper is being burnt. paper is being burned. See, paper is a solid state. It's been burning with the presence of oxygen in the sense it is a gaseous state. You can see what is a product which has been obtained with a solid state. Completely it remains with ash. See, a paper is solid and it is burned with the presence of oxygen in the sense it is a gas. See, paper, whatever I have taken, which is being burnt with the presence of oxygen, it is a solid state and this is your gaseous state, and whatever the ash which I have obtained is nothing but your solid state. So like this it has changed its state. Maybe it can change its color. Even you can see paper was in white color. Later on after ash it become gray in color. There is a change in the color or change in temperature. See, as it is been heated, as if it has been heated, it has changed its state and color. If I would have told it, if I would have completely torn it, at that point of time, the paper will remain as paper itself. But there is no any temperature apply over there. It required some changes over there. That's all. Then evolution of gas. There is some evolution of gas also can be taken place in a chemical reaction. So this is what a chemical reaction involves, whether it is change in state or change in color or change in temperature or evolution of gas. Any 2 or 3 will be taken place in a chemical reaction as I told you. Okay. And after writing the chemical equation, see, or while writing your chemical equation, you have to represent the state of matter. You have to represent the state of matter. That means magnesium is burnt with the presence of oxygen to give you magnesium oxide. So magnesium is a solid state, it's a metal. Oxygen is an element which is of gaseous state G, and MgO is an oxide state, it is solid state. A white color powder which is been obtained, solid state. So you have to represent the state while writing a chemical equation. You have to represent whether they are solid. It is yes. If it is gases, it is G. If it is liquid, it is L. If it is aqueous, it is AQ. Aqueous in the sense a solution. Aqueous is nothing but a solution of a solvent in water. A solution of a solvent in water means it will be in liquid state only, children, but more amount of water is being added to it. To a solvent itself, water is being added to nothing but called as your aqueous solution. So that can be represented in AQ. So while writing a chemical reaction, you have to represent their state too. So what does a chemical reaction involves? They involve the change in state, change in color, change in temperature, and evolution of gas. So we people know how to write, what is the definition of chemical reaction and what is example. You can give many examples, children, and I gave you few of the example to write your chemical equation. Now, after writing this chemical equation, and writing their state, now we people have to know whether the equation is balanced or not. Whatever the equation, after writing this equation, we people have to check out whether the given equation is balanced or not. And that equation is nothing but called as balanced chemical equation. That is nothing but called as balanced chemical equation. That means it tells you the number of atoms in the reactant, the number of mass of the atoms in a reactant and in the product should be equal. It's nothing but called as balanced or balancing equation. So what does it tell you is number of atoms in the reactant and in the product should be equal. Now I wrote, children, that is A plus B will give you C. Just an example I am giving you, just a sample. A plus B is equal to C. See, A is having some mass. Atom A is having some value, mass. Now if I take it is 1. Okay. Atom C, B is having the mass to be as 1. Then atom of mass of an atom, the mass of the atom of the both the reactant should be equal to the product. So C is having 1. So all if it is having the number of mass of an atom is equal, in the sense the equation is balanced. If it is not balanced, now if you say A is 1, B is 2 and C is considered to be as 2. A, B is 1 and C is considered to be as 2 in the sense the equation is not balanced. The equation is not balanced. The equation, if it is not balanced, they are said to be a skeletal equation. Skeletal equation. Equation which is not balanced. The equation which is not balanced. But how will you tell the equation is balanced in the sense the number of mass of an atom, the number of mass of the reactant and the product, the number of mass of the product should be equal. The number of mass of the reactant, both the mass of the reactant or both the mass of the product, whether it is 2 or more product, both the number should be equal. They are said to be as balanced chemical equation. What is balanced chemical equation will tell you is the number of mass of the reactant and the product should be equal. It's nothing but called as balanced chemical equation. Why a balanced chemical equation should be balanced in the sense, why a balanced chemical equation should be balanced? To satisfy your law of conservation. Law of conservation of mass. To satisfy your law of conservation of mass. To satisfy your law of conservation of mass, the equation should be balanced. If the equation is not balanced, it is called as balanced chemical equation. How will you tell the equation is balanced in the sense the number of mass of the reactant and the product should be equal. That means you write in your mass that is LHS is equal to RHS. What does the number of reactant you take? The same number of product in an atom should be present. So that is what is something but called as balancing equation, or it is called as balanced chemical equation. This is the equation, children. Okay. Let me give you one simple example. Now we have magnesium is bond with the presence of oxygen to give magnesium oxide. Am I right, children? Magnesium is bond with the presence of oxygen to give magnesium oxide. Now you see. Whatever you have in your reactant, just make a note of it. Whatever you have in your reactant, make a note. And whatever you have in your product, you just make the number of atoms. That means magnesium. How much you have magnesium? Magnesium, how much you have in your reactant? 1. And in your product, it is 1. How about your oxygen is, how much oxygen you have? 2 atoms of oxygen you have. Your oxygen, how much you have? 1. Magnesium is balanced. Magnesium is 1 and 1. Okay. Now what about oxygen? It is not balanced. Oxygen is 2 in the reactant and in product it is 1. Am I right? Now what exactly I have to take is I have to get 2 over here. So let me take 2 here. No, don't do it. You have to change the mass of the atom. Mass of the atom in the sense you people have to multiply here itself. Oxygen is only 2. No, let me take 2 here for oxygen. Why you are taking from magnesium? You are not supposed to take, children. If you take mass, it should be completely changed. You have to take it here itself. You have to take it here itself. Take 2. Now oxygen became 2. Correct. What about magnesium? See the product. What about your magnesium? See, oxygen I have multiplied 2. So it became 2. Now what about your magnesium? Magnesium also has become 2. Magnesium also has become 2. Now what you should do? Multiply magnesium with 2. Multiply magnesium with 2. So even this is 2, 2, 2, 2 and 2. Already it is balanced. Now you can see the number of reactant and the number of atoms present in the reactant and the number of atoms present in your product is equal in number. And this is nothing but called as balanced chemical equation. The number of atoms in your reactant and in your product should be equal. That is what is nothing but called as balanced chemical equation. Without that, see, before that I gave you only Mg plus O2 gives MgO. This equation is called skeletal equation. Why? Because it is not balanced. So it is called as skeletal equation. As it is balanced, it is called as balanced chemical equation. Why it should be balanced is to satisfy your law of conservation of mass. To satisfy your law of conservation of mass, your balancing equation should be balanced. Is it clear? Let me give you still some more example to balance the equation. This is an all is basic, children. You people should know how to write equation first. Then after writing equation, you people have to know whether it should be balanced or whether it should not be balanced. Okay. Next. When hydrogen bond with the presence of oxygen to give H2O. See, the equation is balanced or not? Is the equation is balanced? No. So what type of equation is this? Skeletal equation. So this equation is called as skeletal equation. Now let's start balancing this equation. Take the reactant, take the product. What is the atom name? Hydrogen, oxygen. Hydrogen is in reactant place how many? 2, and in product you have 2. Oxygen, how much you have in your reactant? 2, and in product how much you have? 1. Yes, ma'am, for oxygen only 2, no. So let me take 2 here. That completes. No, the product only will be completely different. We require only water, right? So don't do it. Now I am going to multiply this with 2. That means here 2. Now what happened with your hydrogen? It has changed. It has changed to 4. Correct? 2 2s is 4. It has changed with 4 now. Now hydrogen, should I change with 4 in the sense? Should I take 4 here? No. For 2, what if I multiply? I'll be getting 4. For 2, what if I multiply? I'll be getting 4. That is 2. So now check out the equation whether it is balanced. Hydrogen is 4. Product in your hydrogen is 4. And in product you have 2. And in product you have 2. Is the equation balanced? Now the equation is 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. And this is nothing but called as balanced equation. Number of atoms present in the reactant and in your product should be equal, children. That is called as balanced equation. I'll give you still some more. We have some more equations. When hydrogen is combined with chlorine to give hydrochloric acid. So what is the number of reactant present? And what is the number of product present? A number of atom name. Hydrogen, chlorine. Hydrogen, how much you have in your reactant? 2. In your product, how much you have, children? Sorry, product, how much you have? 1. And here chlorine, how much you have? 2. Here, how much you have? 1. So what should I do? What should I do? I have to multiply to the product 2 and 2. That's all. That means I should not multiply 4. If I take 2, that's enough. Hydrogen is 2, chlorine is 2. Is the equation balanced now? Check out. Hydrogen is 2, hydrogen is 2, chlorine is 2, chlorine is 2. Ma'am, if you take for chlorine, automatically it will change for one more reactant 2. Yes, children. If you change that towards your product, check out once again whether the equation is completely balanced. Once if you take for chlorine 2, in a sense, you don't think that the equation is balanced. There will be changes in your hydrogen. Check that with your reactant 2. If it is balanced or the number of atoms present in the reactant also is equal and for the product is also equal, then it says that the equation is balanced. If not, in the sense, rub that. Again, if it is not balanced in the sense, go with one more number. What is required to that atom, just multiply that, you will get your answer. Okay? Or you can do your trial and error method also. Or you can try it with your trial and error method also for your balancing equation. 1 you can't try it, multiply that with 2. You see that whether the equation is balanced, write it. If not in the sense, rub 2, take 3. If not in the sense, rub 3, take 4. Like that. If Not directly. If you go on practicing with more and more number, it will be easy for you to balance then and there itself. I don't want to write this reactant and product. Directly I can solve the equation. Now I'll give you one more equation. Let me take a chemical reaction of your respiration or photosynthesis. Oxygen plus water gives glucose C6H12O6 plus CO2. How will you balance this equation? See the equation. Balance it. Oxygen, how much you have? 2. Not 2, 3. Both, whatever in the reactant, oxygen, how many numbers you have to take totally together. So oxygen is 2 here, 3 here, and here it is 6, 7, 8. So here it is only 3. There you have 8. So what should I do? Let me take 6 here. Let me take 6 over there. Why did I say 6 is there? 8 it is there. So here if I take, I want 2 more extra, right? So it is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So there you have 6, 2 again. So okay, let me take carbon. I didn't take carbon dioxide here. Carbon only is not present. Then how the equation will be balanced? The equation is only completely wrong, children. The equation itself is completely wrong. Why? Because I took only oxygen and water, correct? And I have a product of carbon. Where is carbon here in the reactant? It is there? No. So this tells you that you are not, where the chemical reaction has not been taken place between this. Tells you that the chemical reaction has not been taken place between this. Okay. I can give you some more example. When HNO3 plus CaOH2 gives CaNO3 whole 2 plus H2O. This is a chemical reaction, children. Now how this equation is balanced, you see. Okay. Write the reactant, ma'am, it is like this only we will practice, ma'am, in the sense, practice, children. 10 to 15 sums if you practice like this, writing reactant and product. 16th sum will be, you can directly balance that. Hydrogen, how much you have? 3 you have. Nitrogen, how much you have? Only 1 I have. Oxygen, how much I have? 4 I have, not 4, 5 I have. So here in your product, potassium, sorry, calcium I didn't write. Calcium I have 1. Hydrogen, how much I have towards your product? 2. And nitrogen, how much I have? It's 2. Oxygen, how much you have towards your product? 3 2s are 6 plus 1, 7. And calcium is 1. Now what you took, ma'am, we didn't get. See here, children. Hydrogen, how much I have? H. Here H2. So this 2 will be included for both oxygen as well as for hydrogen. So hydrogen, how much I have? 3 in your reactant. Am I right? Then in your product, you see hydrogen, how much I have? Hydrogen, I have only 2. Okay. Now next, nitrogen, you see I have only 1. Here in your product, I have 2. Why? Because this 2 will be included for both oxygen as well as for nitrogen. So it is 2. Then oxygen, how much I have? 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. Don't multiply over there. When you're counting the atoms, add up. So, okay, mass if it is there, you have to multiply. Oxygen is 3 and here it is 2. So, oxygen is 5. Here oxygen, how much you have? 3 2s are 6. See, oxygen 3 into 2. So, this 2 will be included for both nitrate. So, 3 2s is 6. 6 plus 1, 7 oxygen I have. Then if you take calcium, I have 1 in your product, sorry, reactant, 1 in my product. You're not supposed to take this 2 for this calcium 2. No. If I take this 2, it is included for whole, not for this. This is included only for this. If you write H2 like this 2 is included both for oxygen and for hydrogen. If I write only H2 like this, hydrogen only will have 2, oxygen will not have. Is it clear? Whole 2, if you write, it is indicated for both. Now balance this equation. Balance this equation. So hydrogen, how much I have? 3 I have. So there it is. So let me take 2 here. It will be even number only, children, not odd number. Now see, hydrogen is 4 over there. Here 2 it is there. If I take 2 here, hydrogen is 2, 4. Correct? Yes or no? 4. There I have 2. Sorry, there I have 4. Here I have 4. Now nitrogen became how much? 2. Nitrogen is already 2. Yes. Next, if I take oxygen, 3 2s are 6, 6, 7, 8, 8. Now, if you take here, 3 2s are 6, this 2, 6 plus 2, 8. Okay. Next, calcium, if I take 1, balanced. Correct? See if you want. Hydrogen is 4, hydrogen is 4, nitrogen is 2, nitrogen is 2, oxygen is 8, 3 2s are 6, 7, 8. There also 6, 8. Calcium is 1, calcium is 1. Is the equation balanced, children? Correct? No? So this is what it tells you about balancing equation. I'll give you few more examples of your balancing equation in your next class. And then in your next class, I'll give you homework of your balancing equation to solve complete equations. And then we'll continue further whatever it has been there. Okay. Still balancing equation. Still if you have any doubts, in your next section also I will teach you what is balancing equation still more. And I'll give you more than 20 to 30 equations. Please solve that equation. You will be more clear about the equations. If not in the sense, you come here, I'll explain it to you. Okay. And that means not all the time. Whenever you have to get your classwork or assignments for your correction, no, that time you come, I'll clearly explain you how exactly it is. Okay, children? Or repeat the videos, watch it properly, you can understand still more. If not in the sense, I'll clarify to you directly itself. Okay? Thank you, children. Be safe.